Hi, I'm Miriam with Dorman Products, here to talk to you today about our wiper transmission assemblies. Wiper trans assemblies are the pieces responsible for making the windshield wipers function. The word assembly probably tipped you off that there are multiple pieces in these systems. The assemblies Dorman sells consist of the wiper motor, the item that powers the system, and the transmission, a linkage that converts the rotary motion of the motor into the oscillatory motion of the wiper arms. When a customer has a problem with either component, they'll likely come in reporting issues like wipers that don't function, are out of time, that won't park correctly, or blades that are sweeping beyond the windshield. Diagnosing them can be a bit of a trick. If different speeds won't work or the wipers refuse to operate, you should recommend your customer test for power at the appropriate pins at the wiper motor harness. For mechanical issues such as parking or overshooting the windshield, the transmission should be examined for proper operation. Once electrical tests have shown the switch and wiring are good, a mechanical or electrical problem can be solved with Dorman's wiper and transmission assemblies. They're easy to sell because they come pre-assembled and make diagnosis easier. You can be confident you're selling your customer a complete, ready-to-bolt-in assembly. You can also be sure that they're high quality. The motors are brand new, unlike many of the motors sold without transmissions in the aftermarket, which are often rebuilt. Your customers may be accustomed to buying components individually, but this is the new way to do the job. Why waste time diagnosing failed parts or finding other components are bad once inside the vehicle's cowl? Your store can reduce shelf space and make sure you don't disappoint a customer by stocking the complete assembly. But for the times your customer is looking for a less complete solution, well, Dorman Products is in your corner. We've been making parts for almost the entire wiper system for a very long time. For instance, Dorman offers select window motors individually that are also brand new. This can be a nice option, especially if your parts store carries remanufactured motors, which some customers may not trust as much as a new component. We have a much broader selection of wiper transmissions for your price-sensitive customers. These are good for an advanced DIYer who's looking to replace a specific part that has failed. Be on the lookout for Dorman OE Fix wiper transmissions too. Some OEM linkages are made with a metal to plastic crimped connection. The plastic becomes brittle right at the crimp and can crack. So if a customer comes to your counter holding one of these, know that you might be able to supply them an all-metal replacement that won't meet the same fate. Sometimes a transmission may have bushings wearing out. Not every customer is experienced enough to diagnose this problem, but we offer a good array of bushings should a customer turn to you for this part. We even have a universal set if you have a desperate customer trying to save money where possible. Of course, Dorman offers some other pieces of the wiper system as well. We have a vast selection of wiper arms, which can make for a nice additional sale when someone is replacing a motor, transmission, or both. They're also a common sale item if they've come loose and the splines from the transmission have damaged the arms, which are usually made of a softer metal. If your customer is replacing arms simply because the spring is weakening and the wiper is now streaking the windshield, we also offer some universal helper springs. These can be a good recommendation for a customer with an older vehicle that may not be worth sinking money into. They can also be helpful for vehicles where you can't source a wiper arm. We also have those same arms for the rear, which is a common breakage point for vehicles that go to the automatic car wash a lot. Our wiper arm tool is an inexpensive way to remove those arms too, which have to come off for transmission replacement. We've got a short video you can show your customer to help them get the gist of the removal process. And to cap off that part of the vehicle, literally, Dorman also sells the beauty caps or nut covers that hide the area where the wiper arm interfaces with the vehicle transmission. And one final product we have for your customers are wiper pulse boards. Used especially on GM vehicles, these boards control the intermittent wiper function on a vehicle. If your customer complains of wipers that don't work at all speeds, this component is often the culprit. Diagnostics on these parts can be a bit tricky since the systems are a combination of electrical and mechanical systems. Generally, a partially or fully inoperable system, meaning not working on all speeds, not working at all, or parking incorrectly, will be electrical in nature, whereas a mechanical issue will usually manifest itself as a wiper that wipes incorrectly and frequently is accompanied by a noise. Fixing or replacing these parts varies a bit based on difficulty, but all pieces are usually pretty accessible from under the cowl at the base of the windshield. Occasionally, you will have a customer working with a rear wiper, and those are also usually easy to get to. One part of the job that can be a bit tedious is that the hood may need to be put up and down as the job progresses in order to remove or install components. So if your customer has leaking hood struts, those can be a great add-on sale many other countermen might not think to offer. Other than that wiper tool we mentioned earlier, standard hand tools are usually enough to replace wipers, arms, and assemblies. The arms are often frozen to the spline parts of the transmission. Various pullers and levers can be bought, built, or fashioned, but that's usually the only tricky part of the job other than clocking the arms. For that, you'll want to make sure your customer has a permanent marker. Clocking the arms should be done before anything is removed. When the wipers are in their parked position, it can help to have the customer make a mark on the arm and arm post. When reinstalling, the marks can be lined up so the wipers wipe where they're supposed to. If your customer is installing a transmission or a complete Dorman assembly, have them rotate the arms to the same position as the one being removed and transfer the mark as best as possible. Using this method, the arms usually won't turn out to be clocked beyond 1 or 2 splines off, which is usually a pretty fast correction. And remember, if you need any help before, during, or after the sale, our Dorman technical support team is always available to help. Give them a call at 866-933-2911. Thanks for taking a little time to brush up on Dorman's complete wiper assemblies and related parts. We hope it helps you and your customers. I'm Miriam, and I'll see you next time.